Welcome to part second of the video. Now, when we speak about offshore banking hub, we first need to understand what exactly is the difference between offshore banking hub and offshore treasury hub. The difference is that in case of offshore banking hub, you will only get the solutions like opening of the company, closing of the company, the directors, and most often I can say is the stashing of the money. Now, by stashing of the money, I means that the people, the drug cartel, the arms and ammunition cartel, the politicians, the bureaucrats, probably sometimes, the sport person, sometimes the big, I would say, the big personalities, they stash their money outside their country to save the taxes. This is offshore banking hub. Now, offshore banking hub do not offer more than that. Now, that doesn't mean the list is not comprehensive. Now, when I means that example in an offshore banking hub, if I say that list of directors, now just let me clarify what do you mean by list of directors. Guys, do you know there are many offshore banking hubs we have in the world? I'm not naming all here, whereby the directors in your organization, basically the shell companies which you are naming, which you are going to create, the directors are given by the law firms. On paper, they are law firms, but practically they are money launderers. So what they do, they launder the money from one place to another. Yes, officially their certifications, their registrations are like they are the law people, but go to hell. They are not at all the law people. Now, in an offshore treasury center, which is the second thing, and most important, I would say, in the context of 2022, let it be honest. In the offshore treasury center, you would be able to get more than what you get in an offshore banking center or offshore banking hub. So let me take a simplistic example, A380. Airbus 380. As we speak, it is the largest aviation plane any aviation company has made. As per Google, it can carry 800 people at a point of time, having almost all amenities, which is economic class, business class, first class, and whatnot. This is what we call A380. Now, A380 is nothing but the offshore treasury center. And if you are thinking, let me repeat, if you are thinking that Singapore is a complete offshore treasury center, then you are incorrect. Singapore is not complete offshore treasury center. Now, if I compare this A380 with a charter plane, now the charter plane cannot have 800 people. It cannot have a business class. It cannot have an economy class. It cannot have a first class. It cannot have all amenities, your separate living room, your washroom, your dining room, and whatnot. You cannot compare the charter plane with A380. Let it be honest. The charter plane is the offshore banking hub. So we need to understand one thing very clear, that offshore banking hub is a subset of offshore treasury center. To put this in I would say in a very technical language, let's speak about Panama. Panama is offshore banking hub, but Caribbean Iceland is offshore banking hub and offshore treasury center. Yes, I completely in sync with the fact that, Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands is not as big treasury center as we have Panama. But having said that, it is bigger than what we have Panama. So one important thing which we need to learn and understand, the difference between offshore banking hub and offshore treasury center. Luxembourg, Frankfurt, London, United States, Singapore, Dubai, Mauritius, Cayman Island, British Virgin Island, Caribbean Islands, I would say, and there are many other, Panama, there are many other, those, they all are offshore banking hubs, but few of them are offshore treasury centers also. Henceforth, the kind of valuation which they are getting, the earlier one are not getting. So a person needs to understand very clearly whether he would like to go ahead with the offshore banking hub or he would like to go ahead with offshore treasury center. Having said that, both are having pros and cons. Now, by pros and cons means that both have their plus and minuses. That is something which we need to learn and understand. I'm not going in detail, but when we speak about offshore banking hub, we have foundations, we have non-profit organizations, we have profit organizations, we have joint ventures, we have amalgamations, we have special purpose company, we have special purpose company, we have special purpose vehicle, we have SPAC, you know, we have anonymous shell companies, we have anonymous shelf companies, and the list is pretty long. But when we speak about treasury centers and specifically talking offshore treasury center, then whatever I said is there, plus you have a complete treasury support by the big boys. Like one of the offshore treasury center is the Ireland, and you have many countries in the world, those who are offshore treasury centers, they have an excellent banking infrastructure to open. So one thing which we need to understand is the difference between offshore banking hub and offshore treasury center. But unfortunately, what is the hard reality? The hard reality is we believe that both are same. We don't know the differentiation. Of course, in the later stages, we have more videos. We will deliberate more into that. But having said that, both are completely different and they should be completely different. Probably in the later stages, Treasury Consulting would be covering offshore banking completely in detail, and we have more information. See you in the part 3 of the video. Have a great time ahead.